Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. So, as part of today's topic, we will cover a definition of done in Scrum. We will understand what is definition of done. We will also go through one example and the best practices around definition of done. So, let's start. So, what is DoD or a definition of done? So, definition of done or DoD in short is a basically a checklist or an agreed criteria based on which we can say these work items can be marked as completed. So it's basically a checklist for team to ensure that whenever they are saying something is done, that means it is done on the basis of the checklist. In a sprint or iteration, a team can say their user story is completed once defined DoD for that particular user story is met. So this is how we can define a definition of done in Scrum. Now let's consider one DoD example. So this is a very simple example of definition of done. So it says like the definition of done includes the coding has been completed, code has been checked in the central repository, unit tests have been written, unit testing is completed, code review has been performed, and any comments found during code review that have been incorporated. Also, the QA test have been passed by the QA. So this is what the definition of done looks like, the sample definition of done. So not necessarily this has to be applicable for all the projects, so it all depends upon the kind of project uh, we are doing, what will be the definition of done for that specific project. In some organization there could be recommendation, but not necessarily that all the projects in the same organization will follow the same DoD. Now, how to use the definition of done? What are the best practices involved? So one thing is, once we are trying to come up with a definition of done or DoD, we should keep the product quality goals in mind. That means, do we have to test the product using the automation test, or whether there will be a manual testing, just to give a simple example. So, and also what sort of reviews we want to perform. Do we want to perform peer reviews, or do we want to rely on some tools to find or suggest the best practices around coding? So that should govern the definition of done. Also, when we are doing the sprint planning, a team should keep a DoD in mind when they are, committing for the user stories. They should understand that, what is the DoD criteria, and it should not happen that, they have committed to a user story and later on, they have realized, okay, the DoD is kind of like it increases their scope. So a DoD should be kept in mind when team commits work for a sprint so that they know how much work against each of the story to be done before it is considered as completed. Also, it is not like, once we have come up with a DoD, it cannot be revised or it cannot be modified. So team should use retrospection or inspect and adapt. Just sit with everyone involved and understand, okay, what needs to be improved or what needs to be modified. I mean, consider for an example, I mean, there is a team which has started using manual testing once the project is started, but later on after 3-4 sprints, they have found that, okay, manual testing is not the way going forward. I mean, we have to use the automation test. So obviously DoD needs to be modified or updated accordingly. So the good teams, they continuously look to improve their definition of done, look to improve their product quality, and that's how it should be. So thank you everyone. Thanks for watching this video, brief one. Uh, Thank you.